Ellen DeGeneres walked away from daytime TV in 2022. She left the US altogether in 2024, trading Hollywood for a farmhouse in the English Cotswolds with wife Portia de Rossi. For a while, it looked like the story was over. Then this month, the new rumor exploded. Kris Jenner, the ultimate Hollywood momager, is allegedly the one plotting Ellen's return. Let's break down where this story actually comes from, what's being confirmed and what's still just the source says. To understand why a comeback is even a headline, you have to go back to summer 2020, when a BuzzFeed news report quoted former staffers describing a toxic environment on set, including claims of intimidation. Warner Brothers launched an internal investigation and ultimately ousted 3 top executive producers, and Ellen apologized to her staff on air. The damage to the show's numbers were immediate and severe. By fall 2020, ratings had already dropped roughly 37% compared to the prior season. The bleeding didn't stop. By the following spring, the show had lost more than 1 million viewers year over year, with an overall season decline estimated at 43%, a far steeper drop than any of its daytime competitors experienced. Advertisers pulled back, and the show reportedly struggled to book big-name guests during the same stretch. Ellen always maintained that her decision to end the show wasn't a direct reaction to the scandal, telling The Hollywood Reporter that she'd already been considered stepping away, and that the job simply wasn't a creative challenge anymore. But the timeline speaks for itself. The toxic workplace allegations broke in mid-2020. The ratings never recovered, and by May 2022, the show was gone for good after 19 seasons. It's also worth noting this wasn't Ellen's first exit from the spotlight. Her earlier sitcom Ellen was cancelled back in 1998 after she came out publicly, something she's referred in her own comedy since, so this wouldn't be the first time she's had to rebuild a career from a low point. Before the Kris Jenner headlines, Ellen actually already tried to come back once. A Netflix stand-up special called For Your Approval, which dropped in September 2024. It was billed as her final stand-up special ever, filmed at the Orpheum Theatre in Los Angeles, and it opened with a montage of her career highs and lows, including a widely mocked intro that fans compared to the opening of Taylor Swift's Reputation tour, walking through a wall of old tabloid headlines about herself. This special leaned directly into the controversy. Ellen jokes about being kicked out of show business, talked about going to therapy, and addressed the Queen and Me narrative head-on rather than ignoring it. Did it work? The reception was genuinely split and mostly not in her favor. Critics on Rotten Tomatoes were largely unimpressed, with reviews describing it as a wishy-washy hour that asked audiences to care about her again without giving them a real reason to, and calling it a jokey, non-apology lie on actual vulnerability or insight. Variety's review was similarly harsh, calling it a frustrating, self-indulgent watch that danced around what actually happened on a set instead of digging into it. Audience reactions was just as divided. Some viewers found her honesty relatable and still funny, while others accused her of playing the victim despite remaining a multi-millionaire with a Netflix deal. So in terms of relaunching her career, the special mostly didn't move the needle. It wasn't followed by a new show or hosted gig or any major project. Instead, Ellen and Portia left the US for England later that year. That's part of why the new rumors about Kris Jenner helping engineer a comeback feel like a bigger swing. The Netflix special was framed as a farewell and a chance to have the last word, not a real relaunch, and it doesn't seem to have opened many doors on its own. Over the past couple of years, Ellen and Kris have been photographed together on a yacht trip to Spain, and Ellen brought back one of her old talk show signatures, ambushing Kris with a jump scare during a vacation in Mallorca. Video of Kris's reaction went viral, with fans calling it proof that some celebrity friendships never fade despite what else is going on. Kris also got a big birthday tribute from Ellen when she turned 70 in November, with Ellen posting a playful, candid video from her UK home. It's the kind of ongoing casual closeness that gossip outlets have now pointed to as evidence Kris might be more than just a friend in the story, possibly a career ally. According to a recent report from Radar Online, an unnamed insider claimed Kris Jenner, described as someone with connections everywhere in the industry, is the one working behind the scenes to help engineer Ellen's return to television. The same outlet has also reported separately that Ellen has been quietly hoping for a comeback for a while now, with one source pointing to Kelly Clarkson stepping back from her own daytime show as a moment that got Ellen thinking about opportunities on the horizon. It's worth being clear about what this is: anonymous insider sourcing from a celebrity gossip outlet, not a confirmed announcement from Ellen, Kris, or any network. Nothing has been officially announced. At the same time this comeback narrative was spreading, a competing report claimed Ella's comeback hopes were already hitting turbulence, citing fresh allegations from her ex-cameraman describing her as difficult on set. If accurate, that would suggest any path back to television is far from a done deal, even with Kris Jenner supposedly in her own corner. So right now the narrative is genuinely split. One set of sources says the comeback is being quietly built behind the scenes, another says new allegations are derailing it before it starts. Right now this is a tabloid storyline built on anonymous sourcing, not a confirmed project. What is confirmed is that Ellen and Kris are still close, still hanging out, and still generating headlines. Whether that friendship turns into an actual TV deal is something only time and an actual announcement will settle.